Welcome to Right on Track, a songwriting podcast. Thanks to Tone for tuning in. I'm Demi Michelle Schwartz, and I'm thrilled you're joining me on my songwriting journey. So kick back and relax, don't fall flat, and remember, stay right on track. Hey everyone, welcome back to Right on Track. I could not believe it, but we have reached episode 200. That is so wild. To celebrate, I have a very special guest joining me today. Please welcome Rob Wells. Hi, Rob.
Hello. Hi, Demi. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Amazing. I'm so excited to have you on the show for this very special episode because you are going to share some fantastic songwriting tips. But before we get into that, I would love for you to share with the listeners a little about yourself and your incredible journey in music.
Oh, sure. Well, I am as old as the tree, so I've been doing this for a long time. Um, I'd say it's like 3 decades now that I've been working in the music industry as a songwriter and a producer. And I started from a very small town in Ontario, Canada, and just kept at it, kept at it, kept at it, and never gave up. And eventually, one little thing happened that allowed me to kind of quit my day job. I had a song that went on Canadian radio and it went top 10. And I just figured if I could do it once, I could do it again. And I put all my eggs into this songwriting and production basket, and it's been great ever since. I've worked with a lot of people that are people that you've heard of, people that you haven't heard of, people that are well known in the world, and people that are just getting started.
That's amazing. Can you share with the listeners a few of the super popular songs and artists that you've worked with?
Yeah, for sure. Apologies because my dog has just appeared, and he's panting like crazy. I don't know if you can hear him in the
Special
background.
guest.
Yeah. Some of the people that I've worked with, well, I guess most notably, the people that everybody around the world would know is Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, Weezer, Backstreet Boys. List goes on and on. Cyndi Lauper, Olivia Newton-John. Yeah, different generations and different sounds, but all over the map, and all giving me a fun life with music.
Amazing. Perfect. So you have so much knowledge about songwriting from your own experiences, and so I'm very excited to dive into your amazing tips. So let's start off with number one.
Sure. So my first tip is unplugging, is, turning the computer off and not looking at the screen and not looking at your phone and getting outside and going for a walk, either in nature or in the city or wherever it is, or even just taking a bathroom break or going into the backyard and just looking at the trees, just being bored, essentially. If you're on an airplane ride or a car ride or whatever, don't turn the radio on. Just completely unplug and just see what happens. See what comes into your brain. You're going to get all sorts of ideas for inspiration, for lyrics, um, concepts, all of that. So many times I've been in the writing room and we're stuck on the chorus and we're just going around and around and around. We're beating our heads in, and I go outside for a little break, and it always happens that as soon as I'm away from the studio, that the idea comes so clearly to me, and I come running back in and I say, "My God, I've got the idea for the chorus," and away we go. And so I definitely recommend unplugging, because there's nothing worse than staring at a blank screen and just wondering what your song's going to be about. It's really hard to get inspiration from staring at the pixels of the screen.
Yeah, for sure. And I really love this idea and tip in general because nowadays we're constantly doing things. We're looking at our phones, we're on the computers, we're doing all these things. And just reminding ourselves to unplug is a great tip in general. Just like after a long day of work, unplug. If you're stuck on a song specifically, unplug and see what happens. I think this is a reminder that we all need from time to time because we can always go, go, go all the time. But when you completely unplug, that's where your brain can be in a very calm space and that's where magic can happen.
Yeah, and another thing I would say about that is that when you're trying to be too poetic and you're getting stuck, I think it's a really good idea to just stop and say, "Look, hold on. What are we trying to say here in everyday plain language? What are we trying to say?" And whatever you say in the next sentence is quite often the lyric that you need. So that's another one with just kind of unplugging and just not letting fanciness get in the way.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this ties into just conversations as well. Sometimes when I'm doing co-writes with other songwriters and we're stuck on something, we just have a conversation about the song and our vision for it. And oftentimes, something somebody says is the lyric we are looking for. And so, just general conversation as well can go a long way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. How many songs just sound like natural conversation? And my favorite one to mention is "All I Wanna Do Is Have Some Fun" by Sheryl Crow.
So good.
It's so good, and yet it's just so conversational. All I wanna do is have some fun. Who would have known that that would have been a global number 1 hit?
Amazing. Perfect.
Yeah.
So, let's move on to number two.
Sure, number 2 is called The House of Yes, and I know I sound very Canadian right there when I say the house. Yeah, or my Canadian accent coming through. What do I mean by that? That's basically when we're being creative, when we're writing, and I usually work with 2 other people, so 3 people in the room, myself and a dedicated lyricist and an artist. And I want everyone to feel free to throw out all their ideas into the center of the room and not be afraid and not feel like you're going to get shot down. Your idea is going to get shot down. I really want everyone to just, you know, be open and just like, even if they think it's the craziest idea and everyone's going to laugh at it, throw it out there and we're going to try it. We're going to see if it works. We're going to experiment. So the House of Yes is always just, okay, you receive an idea. Yes, I accept it. Let's try it. Let's see what it's like. And if it's not right, then instead of saying no, you can always say the improv method, which is yes and you can just say, I like that. What if it was that a little bit more like this? And then you're starting to incorporate their ideas with your ideas. And just it creates such a lovely, positive experience in the writing room so that nobody feels like they're being told no all the time. And I've seen it happen, and it's happened to me lots of times too, where I'm in a room and every idea that I'm saying, one person is saying, no, 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 no. And eventually what happens is that you shut down, you completely shut down and you're just like, "Well, nobody likes my ideas, so I'm not even gonna give another one."
Yeah.
Don't don't do that in the writing room. Just
No.
make it so that it's like, "Yeah, I have this idea and it's so crazy and it's probably not the right idea," but then you throw it out there and everyone freaks out and they say, "That's the idea for the song, we love it." So, if you make it the house of no, you could miss those great opportunities, those great, quirky, things that make the song wonderful.
Yeah, for sure. I really love that perspective. I think it's really important in general in any kind of collaborative space to make people feel welcome and comfortable to share their ideas because I've definitely been in situations too, not just in songwriting, but just in other creative collaborative situations where there's somebody in the group who's like, "No, no, 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 no," to, like, everybody else's ideas, and it's almost like they want it to be their way and their way alone, and in that case, in the songwriting space, I'm like, "Why don't you just" I mean, I never said this to anybody, but in my head, I'm thinking, "Why don't you just go write it yourself then? Why are you here?"
Yeah, exactly. There've been many times where that's happened, and I've just I don't say that. I don't say, "Why don't you just go write the song by yourself?" I just say, "Hey, you know what? I don't think I'm the right person for this song, and I'm gonna back out of this, and I wish you all the best with this song. Continue because it's really good, and you got something great going on." And, yeah, that if you do that, that's always a great way to get out of that situation, if they're not changing, if they're not developing it into the house of yes, and, yeah, and keeping great relationships alive as well rather than, burning bridges by saying something negative.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the other thing too is if people feel comfortable to share their ideas, sometimes one person says something that completely changes the song and completely makes the song, and maybe that was their only contribution,
Yep.
but without them, that song would not have become what it is. And so
That's right,
I
that's
really
right.
love this whole idea of not turning people away.
And also, like, I don't wanna call them the wrong ideas, but the ideas that didn't make it into the song serve a purpose as well because they point to what is right for the song and what belongs in the song. So you gotta throw out lots of ideas and not every idea is gonna make it into the song, but it'll at least show you what shouldn't be in there and what should be. So if you have a writing day and you feel like all of your ideas were not used, you're still getting one equal percentage on that song with your co-writers because you were constantly giving out ideas and the wrong ideas or the ideas that didn't work for the song led to the right ideas.
Amazing, perfect. What's the next one?
Yes, so the next one is controversial, especially in my house here, because my wife would disagree with me wholeheartedly on this. But it's always start from the chorus. That's one thing that I've always felt. In the same way that if you were getting into a car and you turn it on and somebody hops in the car beside you, they're in the passenger seat and they just say drive. You'll look at them and say, okay, where? And if you don't know, if they just say, "Just drive, I don't care, just drive," you could end up somewhere amazing. You could end up somewhere horrible. You could end up in a ditch or a dead end. And for me, I always like to know before I get in the car, where am I heading to? And what road am I gonna take? And so the same thing with a song is I want to know what we're heading towards when I'm writing. I wanna know what the subject matter is. I wanna know what the concept is. I wanna know how I feel about that concept. And so when I'm developing the concept and the even the title a lot of times, um, sometimes the title shows itself as the song writes itself, but I do like to work the chorus first, and that's the exact same as knowing what the destination is. Once you have your chorus, then it is really easy for me, at least, to go back to the verse and write pointing towards that chorus because I know what my end goal is, and I know that every line that I'm going to write is going to point towards that, so that by the time we get to the chorus, there's an ultimate payoff that you feel when you listen to it. So I start with writing, I start with the chorus first, and even with production as well, and I know this is not a production, podcast, but when I produce, I do produce the chorus first and then work backwards so that I don't come up with an overproduced, piece of work.
That's amazing. I really love that advice. I try to start with the chords as well. I think there are some times where a verse will just like pop in my head, and then I'm like, well, this is cool, but what am I going to do with it? I definitely find it difficult to have a, a verse or a bridge and have to sit there and try to figure out what the chorus is. And so I feel like if you have the chorus and you have the hook of the song, you know the message of the song, you know the emotional core of it. And then when you're writing the verses, and if there's a bridge in it, you can frame the chorus different ways. You can expand on different aspects of the story. And so having the message and the chorus clear in your mind and on paper before writing the other parts of the song, it's definitely helpful to stay on track because I feel like in some co-write situations too, especially if you're writing a verse or a bridge and you're kind of getting lost and you're not quite sure what to say, it's always good to sit there and say to your co-writer, okay, let's go back to the chorus. What are we saying in the song? And reorient yourself to the message so you make sure the other aspects of the song are contributing well to leading to the chorus.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more.
Perfect. So we have number 4 next. What's this one?
Number 4 is always bring your A game or never half-ass anything. Um, if it's got your name attached to it, bring your A game. If anything that you're doing in this world, always over deliver. Always make it the very best that you can do and push yourself to 120% always. Um, I just I see people, I see producers, I see songwriters that are just thinking, well, this artist is nobody. I'm just gonna farm it in. I'm just gonna do something basic on here. If that thing takes off and starts being played to lots of different people and it's got your name attached and it's not working, that is the equivalent of just telling everybody that you do just, a lesser quality of work. And I just think that everything that you do, everything should just be incredible, should be amazing. Um, I would highly suggest that people only work with artists or other songwriters that you think are amazing or that are great people, really friendly, really easy to work with. But just always bringing your A game, I think, is definitely a number one. It's great if you can come into a session with ideas, with concepts, but it's also great to just be, your best version of yourself. So I highly suggest getting a great amount of sleep every night I highly suggest treating your body like a well-oiled machine and just eating properly, being as healthy as you can so that your mind is just at its peak. And I've seen people come in hungover or high, or it just never leads to a good writing situation. Just come in and be a wizard, basically, so that by the time you leave, everyone is just like, what did I just experience? That was insane. That was amazing. And then they will go and they will tell all of their friends, I just had this session with this person and it was incredible. We had the best time. We had great laughs and we really enjoyed working together. And the song at the end of the day is unbelievable. If you can do that every day, you are going to go places in this world. So just, always be a great human being. Always be developing your talents. Always have a great sense of drive and determination. And just when you think you're really good at all those things, keep going and keep making it better every single day.
Love that so much. And something you said that I really want to emphasize again is if your name is attached to something, that's your reputation. And you absolutely have no idea. It could be a song for a very small artist and they could become a like huge success overnight and that's tied to your reputation. And I think of this the same way and everything I do in the publishing space as well. Like, for example, right now, I'm the lead editor for a butterfly themed anthology, which is like my whole dream project. And my name is literally on the cover as the editor or one of the editors. And so if I don't put 110% of that, like my energy and my time and my focus into that, and it's bad, then that could really hurt me in my reputation in the publishing space. And I've had conversations with some of my author friends who say they wrote a short story and submitted it somewhere, and they're like, I don't think this is the best it could be. I'm like, well, maybe don't submit it until it is the best you can be because you have no idea who can see that. You have no clue who can listen to one of your songs. It could be a famous artist who listens to one of your songs and goes, oh my gosh, your songwriting is amazing. I want to work with them. But if they come across your work and it's not compelling and not good quality, then that will turn them away. And so, no matter what it is, no matter how small, I think it's so important to make sure it's your best work if you're putting it out there and your name's attached to it.
Absolutely. And now I can tell you at the same time that I've gone back and I've listened to my work over the years, and I'm ashamed and appalled by what I hear of my own work. But that just means that over time you get better.
Yeah.
Don't think I've got to wait until I get better. Just do the absolute best that you can do right here, right now. And I really hope that everyone's open to just taking in criticism and learning new things, new approaches, new techniques, and just being a better person as you go along. So just bring your absolute A game, whatever you can do right here, right now, and the better version of you is waiting around the corner.
Amazing. Awesome. So we have two more. What's number 5?
Yeah, number 5 is understand everything about the song and feel emotion towards it before you finish it. Yes, this is something that I had to learn the hard way. I used to, at the beginning, I would write songs, and there would be moments where we're in the writing room, and I'd be like, I don't quite get this section here, and some of my coworkers would be like, "Oh, it's okay. It's just lyrics of the verse. Don't worry about it." And it irked me then every time. Like if that song ever went out with an artist and it got recorded and it got played, it was a single, and hear it all the time on radio. Every time that it would come to that moment, I would just be really upset that I didn't fight the good fight and really get the best version of the song out there. So I just think like if there's something that you don't quite understand, fight the good fight until you really get it. Like you might not get a completely literal understanding of it, but at least you'll get your own interpretation of it. And you should feel something about the song. You should feel like, how does this relate to my life? Do I feel like it's part of my life? Am I putting part of my personality in this? Is it my story? Is it a shared story between myself and another songwriter or the artist? Get it to that place where you really feel it, where you can stand proudly behind it, and get it to a place where you feel great emotion about it, so that you want to cry every time you hear it, or you want to dance every time you hear it, or anything else in between. Just get it to that place where you are just you're loving it. Another thing that I would say as well, sorry, I'm adding another one in here, Demi. Just think as you're creating, think always, if I were playing this for an A&R at a record label, what would be the reason why they would say no to this song? Always be thinking that. And I can tell you that it's happened many, many times in my past that I've been in a meeting with an A&R at a label and I'm playing a song. And as it's playing, I think, oh no, that intro is way too long. Oh no, why did the pre-chorus double up? Like always think, what can I do to make it so that I feel so strongly about this and make it so that you'll be proud to play it to any A&R individual at a record label.
I love all of that. And going back to what you said about the emotion and feeling the song and not just having lyrics just to have lyrics to fill space, I can totally speak to this from the artist standpoint too, because I feel like my debut pop album, I love it. It's my first project, but listening back to it, there are several songs on there that I just don't feel like I was feeling emotion while I was recording them. I don't feel like those songs fully captured an emotion that I wanted to convey, and I felt like some of it was very cookie cutter and what I thought people wanted to hear. And contrasting with that, my sophomore pop album I released last year, I even got like messages from people who have said the emotion in your vocals is so much different from your first one. And I'm like, I don't like I can totally see that because I had a completely different mindset when I was writing that album. It was coming from a very deep place. It was so authentic and honest. And when I was in the studio, I like really put myself in the mindset of how I felt when I wrote this song, and I made sure to add vocal expression and dynamics and all the things. And so, even from in my own work, I definitely have seen that growth too. And so, I think it's so important. Like, and before, if I thought a lyric was cool, I'm like, oh, that lyric's cool. I don't think it's the best one, but the rhyme fits and it works, so let's leave it. But now I'm like, line by line, like, is this the right way to say this? Does this need to be here? And so I really love this idea of don't settle for the first thing or even the second thing. Go through it as many times as you have to until you get the right version.
Yeah, and also play it for other people and see what they think as well. Like, do you understand about this song? Do you feel any emotion towards this song? Does it feel like it's part of your life? Does it tell a story that happened to you as well? And the more universal you can make it to everybody, then the more chances you have a big hit on your hands.
Absolutely. And this brings us to the last one, number 6, which is a great one. So what's this one?
This is my favorite of them all,
Yep.
and I cannot, leave without saying this. Please be a good person in this world. In the world where you can be anything, be kind, be a good person. Now, don't be a pushover, be kind with some confidence and, stand your ground and politely and back out of situations kindly. And, imagine that if you're going to be working with another songwriter, if you're co writing, or if you're working with an artist, or you're working with a producer, or you're a producer writer as well, and all of that, who do you want to sit in a boat with in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean for 8 hours a day and get it to the point where they don't wanna throw you overboard or you don't wanna throw them overboard, right? But it is so true, like, just be somebody that is a really kind person, that is very respectful, that listens, that really wants the best for this song and for the songwriting session or whatever it is that you're doing. Just be kind, be a nice person. Don't bring your list of achievements into the room. Um, just be the nicest version that you can be, and it just really will help you in the long run. You'll keep great relationships with so many people in the industry. You won't burn bridges. The last thing you want is when you're not in the room, people saying bad things about you in this industry. So be the nicest version that you can be. And again, just like I've said before, just when you think you're nice enough, keep working at it. Meditate, like really just connect yourself, be grateful, wake up being extremely grateful every day, realize how damn lucky you are to be alive. Um, and you get to make music. Like, man, these are such pluses. It's incredible. So just be kind, be nice, and give lots of love to everybody throughout the whole world, no matter where they're from, no matter what they look like, no matter what they believe in, all of that. Just be kind, love your neighbor, all of that.
Perfect. What an amazing note to end on. I am a good person, but you will not catch me on a boat in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean for 8 hours. That will not happen ever.
Everyone's got a price, Demi. Come on. $1 million. Would you do it for 1 million?
No way. I don't think so. Nope. Nope.
All right. That's good to know. Good to know that you can't be bought. That's good.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this amazing chat. So many great tips. Before we go, can you please share with everybody where they can connect with you online?
Yeah, connect with me on Instagram at Rob W Music. It's a really difficult one to remember. I thought, what's my name? What do I like to do? So there it is, Rob W Music.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining me for episode 200.
Woohoo! Thank you, Demi. Really appreciate it. Very honored to be here, and all the best for all of your future episodes on this great podcast.
Thank you. And listeners, I hope you enjoy this chat with Rob Wells. And of course, until next time, stay
Stay
right
right
on
on
track.
track.